Slip, slip, knit, and knit two together are decrease stitches that are similar to the make one left and make one right in that they angle in a certain direction. So again, this produces a very nice professional look with your stitches all sort of curving at the same rate. This will be used along an armhole edge or a neckline when you have a stockinette fabric that you want to keep consistent and you want these stitches to lean in different directions. A lot of times people will learn the knit two together and not the slip slip knit, but then both sides of your decrease, the stitches are going to be leaning the same direction, and it doesn't really look as professional as it does when you have this consistent decrease from both sides working itself in. So in order to work the slip slip knit and the knit two together, I've got a little sample here of a couple of rows that are ready to be worked. I like to work my decrease stitches one stitch in from the edge, because if you're going to be seaming this to something else, you want to have all of your edge stitches very consistent so it's easy to see which stitch is which for working them together in order to seam them. So I'm going to go ahead and knit this first stitch just plainly. And then to work the slip slip knit, it is exactly the way it sounds. You're going to slip, slip, and then knit. I will do that again. So in this scenario, you will be slipping knitwise. Sometimes instructions will tell you to slip purlwise, which looks like this. But in this case, we're going to slip two stitches, but separately. So slip, slip, and then when we knit them, we insert our left needle down the front of those two stitches like this, and then knit them together. And we are decreasing one stitch each time we do that. Now I will show you the knit two together. And again, I like to work one stitch in from the edge on both sides. So I'm going to leave this stitch plain stitch when I get to it, and I'm going to knit these two together. This is very simple, which is why it's the most typical decrease stitch that beginners will learn, because you're just inserting your needle up two stitches and knitting them together the same way as if you were knitting one stitch and just lifting both of those off of the left needle. So now we've decreased one there. I'm going to go ahead and purl down this row so I can show you both of those decreases again on the other side. There are also decrease stitches that are worked on the purl side of the work. Sometimes those can be a little bit more complicated, so I prefer to do most of my decreasing on the front or knit side of the work. So again, I'm going to knit the first stitch to keep those edge stitches consistent, and then I'm going to slip, slip, knit to create that left-leaning decrease for the right edge of my work. And then I will work to the other side, the last three stitches, so that I can knit these two together and then simply knit that last stitch. And after you've worked several rows of this, you'll start to notice your fabric decreasing along both edges. And you will see that the stitches are leaning to the left along the right edge and leaning to the right along the left edge. So there you have the slip slip knit and the knit two together.